So hi, I'm trying a new language for the video I put on internet. So I'm French. My name is Laurent Martinez. I'm helping people for 13 years now. And I discovered a tool, a practice that I call in French échelle émotionnelle, that I can translate by emotional ladder. And so I'm trying to present it in English. I'm gonna see if I can do it. It's not my language, so all my apology for the unclear sentences. I was gonna be clear enough though, so don't hesitate to ask questions if it's not clear, if what I'm saying is raising any kind of doubts or questions. So the tool, so I'm just gonna present it all. It's not a teasing video. I'm just gonna transmit everything about it. The point is to be aware of the very origin of an emotion when you experience an emotion. And in my experience, if you really go to the origin of one, you actually go to the origin of all of them, or many of them. I'm not saying you have only one origin for all your emotions, but in my experience you don't have many. You can have 2, 3, something like that. So the point is that I have an emotion, someone else don't have the same emotion in front of the same situation. So how come it's like that? How come bad people can maybe be sad and maybe I'm angry, and maybe that other person is just quiet and serene? So what's happening with that? And that's the base observation of the practice. It's if you put many people in front of the same situation, they all have different emotions. So to me that's a proof that the events, the outside events, cannot be the cause of your emotion, because the same cause have the same effects and everybody would have all the same emotions, the same emotion. So if everyone has a different emotion, it proves that the very cause of the emotion is inside each person and not outside of all these people. So that is the base, which creates the idea that so maybe the experience of having an emotion is not that basic. It's not a cause and a consequence. It's a bit more complicated. It's not very complicated. It's just that okay, there is a starter, something that starts the emotion that is outside. Okay, there is one emotion and it's different if it's a fear, if it's sadness, and there is a cause inside you. And if you're not aware of the cause, you cannot have your lesson about that emotion. You cannot understand the signal you're having. To me, there is something I would call an emotional intelligence. When I say emotional intelligence, it's just the thing in you that makes you have an emotion. And I'm calling it intelligent because again, it makes now 13 years I'm helping people to listen to their emotion, and I see it very clever. There is always very good reason, very good origin, very pertinent, very important origin about all your emotion. So the base is that, so okay, I have an emotion, okay, it is started by something, okay, but the thing that started my emotion, I'm sorry again about my English, is not the cause. So the cause is inside. How do I do that? So the point is to understand that the cause of an emotion is another emotion. It's not something you're gonna get in your mind. It's not by thinking about it. It's not by saying, okay, why do I have that emotion? If you say why, you're gonna ask your brain, your mind, your mental. And the mental can only access the memory, and it's not going to tell you the real cause of your emotion. So the best way to understand your emotional intelligence is to use it not use your rational mental intelligence, but use your emotional intelligence. And when you use that, you just feel. The emotional intelligence only imply about, I'm not sure about the sentence here, only is only something about feeling. So let's try an example that I'm gonna create right now. So let's imagine right now in France there are elections, and it's really special, I'm gonna just say that. And let's imagine I'm angry about something I hear on TV. Oh, again, that stupid argument. And they are really putting me in anger. So okay, I'm starting with that anger. Okay, let's see what happens. So, okay, I feel anger because that politicians say something really stupid, really trying to manipulate me. Okay, so instead of thinking that it's because of him that I feel anger, what can I, if I can go deeper, what do I feel? So okay, so the point about emotional ladder is really to feel. So I put myself into that situation. Okay, it's like the politician is talking to me right now. Okay, I can feel the anger right now. And inside that, I feel injustice, for example. I hate when people are making a fool of myself. I don't know if people are, how do you say, are mocking me. Sorry, I don't know the English word. So I feel disrespected. Okay, I feel disrespected when people do that to me. Okay, and again, that's a starter. When people do that to me, when people make a fool of me, laugh about me, and I feel disrespected. Okay, so the emotion is I feel disrespected. What is under that? I feel sad, because actually I remember I was not understood all my childhood. Nobody understood me. Don't worry about me. I'm making that up. Okay, let's say that I feel sad because nobody understood me in my childhood. Okay, so that's what I am experiencing, and let's continue. Okay, nobody understood me. That's the event, the starter. The outside situation, and I feel sad. So I contact that, I feel sad. What is under? Okay, I'm scared. I feel scared because if even my parents don't understand me, that's very scary to me. And that's why I right now, if I really try to feel, I'm at the same time now, and I'm also like a child. And I feel that right now, it's not what I used to feel, okay? Right now, if I look in my past, if I am in my past right now, that's what I feel. Again, I'm really sorry about my English, but I'm doing my best. So, yes, so I'm scared. I feel scared if my parents don't understand me. Okay, and what is under that? Again, the point is not my parents, it's just a starter. And there I'm going to feel, I feel alone, because that means they don't really love me. If they don't understand me, it's because they don't love me. They're not even aware of who I am and what I want and my desires. So what did I say first? Well, they don't love me, so I feel alone. Yes, I feel alone. And again, that's not the end. I'm going to do that until I really find an origin. And let's say at the moment I say, okay, but I don't exist if my parents don't love me. I don't exist. I'm a child. If they don't love me, what is the point to be on earth? So that is the real origin. And if I really feel it's right now in my mind, it's not my past. It's not about my parents. It's right now, I still think that. I still think I don't exist if my parents don't love me. And that's my identity. I call it a virtual identity. It's a fake identity. But it's still what I am identified to. I'm really identified to that. And the point is that. And that politicians at the beginning, if I react to that, it's because of all that story. And it's because inside of me, and I was not really conscious about it, but inside of me I really think that I cannot exist if my parents don't love me, and then my parents become if I'm not understood, and then if people make fool of me, and at the end that's the superficial emotion. But that superficial emotion, if I really listen to it, is just telling me, hey Laurent, there's a problem with you. You still think you cannot exist if your parents don't love you. So if people don't love you, so if people don't understand you, and you cannot live with that, with that idea inside you. You cannot live with your existence being so limited, being so conditioned. There is a condition to your existence, and that's what my emotional intelligence is telling me. My emotional intelligence is trying to make me aware that my identity is completely on the side. It's not really me. It's not my real being. It's not my living being. It's hard for me in English, actually. So again, I'm trying. I see if I'm understood. This is the point. So I'm helping people to practice that the emotional ladder for 13 years. And what I can tell you right now is that in my experience, you take any emotion, positive or negative, of any human, even if it's very intense, even if it's not that intense, and you do an emotional ladder, and you always, when I'm saying always, it's just a testimony, okay? It's not an idea, it's not an ideology. It's a testimony that, in my experience, you always find an identity, and it's a fake identity. You always find a virtual identity. You can call that ego if you want. I don't like the word ego because we have so many ideas about it. So that's just the fact. It's an identity, and it's built about everything I have experienced before, and especially when I was a kid, and I was afraid of not being loved, and I crystallized my identity to that trouble. And if I don't solve that right now, all my existence, it's just going to be an alarm signal that is telling me, hey, you have a problem, stop with that. Your identity is fake. You're not walking on in your shoes. There's something wrong with you. So do something. Get free. Get real. Get real. That identity is not real. So I'm going to just try that. That's the description of emotional ladder. You can try it. It's not that difficult. It's not so easy as well, but just try that. You can comment if you want. You can ask me questions. It's a try in English. I see what's happening. And I'm at the end, I want to thank Florian, because he actually encouraged me to do that in English. So thank you, Florian. It's I see you have talked about the emotional ladder to people that speaks English. So maybe that's going to help them. It's going to help anyone that is listening. So thank you, and bye-bye.